All right. Anyway, let's get started. Oh, by the way, so like normally I'll be, kind of do like an intro of like, oh, we're going to talk about the roster upgrade for whatever date. Since we don't know, a little bit more free form now. So we're just going to start at starting pitcher. In case you're just getting in, I'm skipping relief and closing pitcher right now. It's too volatile a market. I don't feel comfortable really suggesting you guys go out and invest in anybody except for the guy that everyone's already obviously invested in, as evidenced by his price. So if you want to get a couple more Josh Haders under 800 if you can, that's fine, but everyone already knows. He's already a monster card, so everyone should already have him on their team anyway. And if you want to get a couple others, you've got a pretty easy path to gold right now. Well, actually, I shouldn't say it's an easy path, because it's actually not, because he's 97, so he really has to have his command and control carry him there. But right now, he can do no wrong. He's been absolutely bananas. What up, Stain? What up, Ben? All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started now. So for starting pitcher, I'm going to start with somebody who pitched tonight, pitched really well, and I want to talk about him. So by the way, let me finish talking about him before you go out and invest, because it's not just because I'm mentioning them doesn't mean that they're automatically positive. And we're going to start with Aaron Sanchez. And that's why I bring this up specifically, because while I do like Aaron Sanchez and he pitched well tonight, there is still the fact that he's not really getting strikeouts, and he's not a big strikeout guy, and that's really going to be his avenue to getting upgraded. And tonight he threw 8 strong innings, only gave up 3 hits, had a no-no going either through 7 or into the 7th. But it was deep. But he only struck out 4, and he walked 5. And part of that is just his stuff is so nasty that he has trouble commanding it. That's why the walk rates are always high. Even in that breakout year of 2016, he had an 8% walk rate, which is about average. And he just induces lots of weak contact because of the nastiness of his stuff. Guys can't square him up, so don't get a lot of hits. But his 73 hit 9 is already pretty good. And he's actually allowed a lot of hits this year. So I brought him up specifically because he pitched well tonight. I saw his market kind of fluctuating. And while I do like him, I think he's more of a long-term guy. And the reason I'm holding out some hope on the strikeouts is because his swinging strike rate has almost doubled from last year. 6% to 11% this year. At 11%, you're starting to miss more bats. And he could reasonably push, a 20%, a 20+% strikeout rate, which translates to 7.5, 8 strikeouts per 9, and then he could get a boost from there. But otherwise, he kind of is who he is. Look at the velocity and break. He already plays as a good card because of that, but you're just not going to get a ton of swings and misses from him. So unless you start to see a lot of big strikeout totals from Aaron Sanchez, don't overinvest. I've got 12. I bought him really cheap early on, and I didn't add. I'm not really adding right now. I'm just kind of holding. I want to see some strikeouts. Next up is his teammate, Happ, who actually is getting a boatload of strikeouts right now and has a swinging strike rate behind it. Now, Happ, you don't really think of as like some blazing fastball guy because he doesn't throw that hard, but he does throw 92 from the left side, which is pretty good. And for those that don't know, there's a lower threshold to be great velocity-wise from the left side than there is the right side. It's just kind of the way it is with the way lefty velocity is. 92 is kind of, you kind of do like a 1-point difference. It's kind of equivalent to 93 as a righty, which is pretty darn good. So that means he can bump it up to 94, 95. He's got a 33% strikeout rate this year. And I know they use K9. That's why I'll still mention the K9, but I really like strikeout percentage overall because that takes just how many strikeouts you're getting versus every batter you face. Whereas your K9 is basically an innings-based thing, and you can almost get favored by being bad. You put on more base runners via walks and hits, but then you strike out the guys to get the outs. You can kind of artificially boost a K9 when your K percentage is saying something different. In this case, that's not happening. His K9 is 12.9 and his strikeout rate is 33%. Both of those are really great. He's always been a good walks guy, as evidenced by his very nice 69 BB9, but a 15% swinging strike rate is far and away a career high. And if that holds, and that's something that we start to see, maintain at least, say, a 12% clip, which would also be a career high. He's never been above 10%. And even that was rounded up from 9.6. So if he maintains double digits for Happ, that strikeout rate's definitely going to get a jump. Hits 9 could use a boost, but he's not there yet. He's actually allowed a hit per inning so far. 16 hits in 16 innings, and even a couple of homers. So it hasn't been perfect, but the raw stuff I've seen has been good from Happ. So I'm keeping him on my radar, and he's pretty cheap anyway. Next up is another couple of teammates. Another one that pitched tonight. We'll start with him. Patrick Corbin. Market's already pretty keen to him. 270, 180 for a 72 bronze. So obviously, if you're getting him, you're probably trying to hold for gold. Might as well. I mean, he's been so good that. And there's growth everywhere, that I would totally understand that even if you bought a whole bunch at 200 and he didn't and he went to silver quickly and keeps going, you just hang on for gold. But again, worst case. So here's the thing: if he goes up to silver, yeah, you can only quick sell silvers for 100. But if he goes up to silver, his price is likely to be around 400 or 500. So then you can still sell. Like, the prices are up on everything. And then worst case. And if he stagnates at silver, you can either sell at I would say at least 300. I can't imagine that he would stay this price if he went to silver. Maybe initially, but then he would eventually go up after everybody stopped selling. But again, you can always turn him back into the silver exchange for golds. So yeah, he's been great. 42% strikeout rate. It's been disgusting. Actually, hang on. With tonight, he's at 14.2 strikeouts per 9, which is insane, which is like a 44% strikeout rate. That's crazy. He's not allowing hardly any hits. He did give up 5 hits and 5 1/3 tonight, but he's still under 6 hits per 9, which is great. Got a good ground ball rate this year. I mean, this looks a lot like the breakout version of Patrick. Well, actually, it looks like a better version of the breakout guy that we saw back in 2013. That slider is doing a lot of work. Now, I will say one thing about investing heavily in Patrick Corbin. The caveat here is that he's had health issues before. He stayed healthy the last 2 years for the most part, with solid innings totals of 190 and 156. But he does have health concerns, and 51% sliders. That's pretty high. And usually once you start getting above 35%, you can put some extra injury risk on your elbow. So that is the one risk that I have with Corbin, more so than the skills. I love the skills. I believe a lot in what he's been doing on the field. So he's a really good investment. And then the other one is Zack Godley, who pitched last night, and he was brilliant. And yeah, it was against San Francisco in San Francisco. But he was pretty brilliant against the Dodgers, too. Even though he didn't get a ton of swings and misses, he was really sharp against the Dodgers. Only gave up 1 run, 4 hits in 7 innings. Well, yesterday it was 0 runs, 4 hits in 7 innings, but he jumped from 3 strikeouts to 9 with 20 swinging strikes. That was just absolutely dominant. They didn't really boost his strikeout rate that much this year. They put it at a really nice 69. But if he continues to miss bats the way he did last year and so far this year, then that can be at least 10 points higher. So I really like what he's doing there. He's not walking anybody so far either, but similar to Aaron Sanchez, his stuff is so gross that sometimes the walks are just going to be there, even if he's not totally out of control. It's the difference between watching somebody like Sean Newcomb, who has like no real control over his curveball a lot of the time, and somebody like Godley, who knows that he's trying to put it on this corner here, but it's so nasty that he kind of just misses his spot, and they lay off it. He was missing a lot at the top of the zone yesterday with these swing back two-seamers that were strikes based on the K zone. But if you remember this bit of commentary last year from Harold Reynolds, when he talked about that right there, that's the controversial strike in baseball. I know you guys probably heard it 52 million times if you had the commentary on, but it's a cliche because it's so true. And it is tough to get that high strike called, especially with something that moves like that. It's not the straight high heat. It kind of snaps back from out of the zone into the zone at the top, and he wasn't getting as many calls. But Zach Godley's a monster. He has dropped 1 mile per hour in velocity, but I think that almost makes him nastier. So I'm actually investing in him even a little bit more than Corbin. Of course, he's also more expensive and already a silver, but I do think gold is very plausible this year. All right, and not by design. I really did, because I didn't even list them in order. I'm just seeing that there are these 3 sets of teammates and I'm grouping them. Here's another pair of teammates out in Houston. You can probably guess who they are. Well, first off, I'll say that pretty obviously Verlander has diamond potential. That he's not even on this list. I was really looking at silvers and below for the most part, but I haven't seen anything from him that doesn't suggest that he's going to continue to pitch very well and be a diamond at some point. So if you want to get a couple of those, that's a high stub investment. I understand that's not for everybody, but if you do have a fat bankroll, you want to throw 5 or 6 aside, because I think he'd be like a 25,000 stub diamond at least. And that's early, like when everybody kind of has theirs and they're keeping the price down because of the flood of people that are turning them in. Then as his price kind of stabilizes, I think he pushes 35, 40 to be honest, because if we're going to get an upgrade, it's going to be on the hit and K9 for sure. And he already has nasty stuff, so that's one. But the 2 I'm talking about are, of course, Gerrit Cole and Charlie Morton. Gerrit Cole, the market obviously is already there, 825, 785, so there's not a ton of added value right now. But one thing I will say is that the way he's pitching right now, 14 strikeouts per 9, 2 walks per 9, 4.5 hits, 0.6 homers, obviously he's not going to stay at all those levels. But he can maintain an elite level, and I absolutely believe he could be diamond. There's a diamond Gerrit Cole in the game. We know what that looks like. And the way he's pitching right now, I could totally see that. So if I'm investing in Gerrit Cole, and right now I have 16 of them, which is a relatively high number for me, then I'm holding. I think he'll be gold relatively quickly, but I'm just holding, and I'm kind of riding this out. I know it could burn me, but I'm in for the long haul with Gerrit Cole. This is the other teammate, Charlie Morton, I mentioned. He was great last year. This is similar to Godley, where he was so good last year, but it was kind of that first year of real excellence that they couldn't just base everything off of that, especially with Morton, because he actually has a pretty long career to go back on. And yeah, he was really good in 16 as well, but it was for 17 innings. How much credence could they really give it? But I think he's ready to move quickly too. His swinging strike rate, his stuff's also super nasty. Notice all these guys we're talking about, they've got nasty stuff. I want to buy the guys that have like really good stuff that could take them to superstar heights. There's plenty of guys that have like quality stuff that's going to make them a solid mid-rotation guy, but we're trying to shoot for the heights with some of these investments here and not get, like I like Tanner Roark just fine, and he's actually a fine low-budget investment option because I think he's going to have a decent year, but he doesn't have like next-level stuff. Charlie Morton has next-level stuff, and by next level I mean beyond gold. I'm not saying he's going to get diamond, but I'm saying if you take the skills that we saw in 16, 17, and so far in 18, sprinkle a little health there, I think we could push at least high gold. If not, maybe something crazy like diamond. Now that would take a long time. Charlie Morton would have to ace out, stay healthy into like August before that would come through. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying Charlie Morton's going to be diamond anytime soon. Gold, I think, is within the first couple months. The way he's pitching right now, I do think it could be in the first couple months. Because look, 66 to 63 on his hit K and walk, I mean, those are all ready for upgrades right now, let alone the fact that he continues to pile up great stats. And then the last starter, and then I'll take some questions from you guys. Sorry, Chad, I have not been looking. I'm doing all this right now. Is Jamison Tyner. He's been pitching really well to start the season. You can see the market's already there a little bit, although that's a pretty decent split, so you could probably still get in there at a decent price. But again, this is going to be similar to Aaron Sanchez, where you're going to want to watch him and make sure that the strikeouts are there. However, his are already there right now. He does actually have a pretty strong strikeout rate, 10.1 right now. But a little bucket of cold water on that, only a 9% swinging strike rate. That's only 1% higher, 1 percentage point higher than it was last year, and still kind of below average. 10 to 11% is average. So we don't know that these strikeouts are going to hold. But the stuff is there. He throws 95. He has a devastating breaking ball and a working change. That's the thing, too. I think the changeup, if he developed one, man, if he could learn from Michael Fulmer and get Michael Fulmer's changeup, and I pick him specifically because I see the two pretty similarly as the next generation, like solid workhorses. The Jordan Zimmermans of their era, I've comped both of them to him. If he could get Fulmer's changeup with that breaker and his 95 mile per hour 2-seam, 4-seam combo, that'd be huge. But as it stands, he's got good stuff. He doesn't even need to have a 10.0 strikeout per 9. If I can get 8.8 or higher, we can get a little boost there. If we keep these hits down, which they have been, defense been working for him. Crazy low BABIP, though, too, 133. So it's going to go up from 3.1 hits per 9, duh. But if it lives kind of in the 7 or below range, then that 53 is going to go way up, and he'll be at gold in no time. So hang on. By no time, I mean like 2 months. Because the first one's not even coming out until April 27th. That's my guess. They said late April. There's a Friday in late April. That's just my guess. And since I'm talking Memorial Day would be where I'm thinking gold for him and Morton. That'd be the second month of the season, but only 1 month of roster upgrades. All right, so those are the starters that I've got right now. I'll take some questions. On starters only, guys. Walshy is smoking hot. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. What up, C-Mac? What up, Clutch Boys? Thoughts on Jake Judas? Jake Judas is interesting. I'm curious how much swing and miss he can maintain, because that would be a big growth area for him. Well, Cueto just got hurt. I did highlight Corbin. I'm talking about Judas right now. Let me pull up Judas's page real quick. The fact that the one thing I really like about him is that even though he's not a big strikeout guy, he's really stifling hits. And I know he's not going to keep up this level. He has a 111 BABIP and .89 average. But if he continues to stifle hits at, like, again, 7.5, even an 8 clip, 8 hits per 9 would get boosted from 57. And then an artificial one that he could raise himself, even though it wouldn't impact gameplay, is the homer per 9. He hasn't allowed any homers yet, and we'll see if that continues. He did have a homer issue last year. For those that don't know, homer per 9 does not impact gameplay. It's only for simulation. But if they raise it, it still impacts the bottom line. I do like Cueto, by the way. And just like I said, I think he's getting hurt. How do you subscribe? !subscribe or Prime if you have Amazon Prime. Sorry, guys, my voice is a little jacked. Vader, I'm not repeating them, dog. I'm a big Garrett Richards fan, Fortuna. He was on the initial investment list. And I'm holding. I'm not sweating it right now. He hasn't been good. I only have two right now. But I'm gonna get more. Honestly, I'm really not I'm not sweating him too much. The stuff is still there. I think he might take a few starts to get amped, but I really like him. What does David Price have to do to get Diamond? That's a really good one. David Price is a good call. I definitely see Diamond potential for him. David Price was somebody I really liked coming into the season for fantasy. And so the fact that he's off to a strong start definitely helps. I will say this, though. The K's haven't really been there. Neither has the swing and miss aspect to his game. He is keeping the hits down. He had a pretty good hit rate last year, though, so I think that 68 hits 9 is what could really go up. Also, home runs for him could be an avenue to growth as well. So to get Diamond, I think we got to get the K rate back up to like a strikeout per inning at least, if not higher. But to be a firm gold like that, to be at that 83, 84 level where he's just a step away from Diamond. We can get that in relatively short order if he continues to keep the walks, homers, and hits down. But I do like David Price. Yo, Lamb, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime, dog. I appreciate it. You can quick sell a gold for 1,000. Thoughts on Bundy? I'm writing about Bundy tomorrow at Fangraphs, so definitely take a look at that. There'll be some nice gifts in there to take a look at. I'm digging him, though. I'm absolutely digging him. It all comes down to the slider, guys. You can kind of watch how he goes. It was weird last year. He kind of stopped using it. Jason Collette talked about this. He wrote a RotoWire column on it, and then talked about it on the podcast back in January. He said, watch Bundy. He's got a devastating slider. He's somebody who could actually, have a big breakout this year. He's still just 25. He was an uber prospect. Definitely like Dylan Bundy. Definitely think getting him and hanging on even beyond gold might not be a bad idea. Again, something like silver to diamond is difficult and not something that comes lightly. But if you're looking for that big payoff, we try to identify these guys early as opposed to when they're already gold, one or 2 points away. Like the Verlander one, okay, that's fine because he'll be higher than 6,500 when he goes diamond, but that's a pretty high dollar investment anyway. Bundy's somebody that, with the way he's pitching right now, can definitely go diamond. That is plausible. Gold, I think, is very much in the crosshairs in the short term. Again, when I'm saying short term, I'm talking like a month from the first update, which would be around Memorial Day. That's what we're looking for the first big gold movers. Some of the guys that are already 78, 79, they're 1-2 points away. They'll be moving gold probably within the next couple of weeks. But these guys that are 75, that need to make probably 2 jumps, that I'm looking at the first month or so after investments. Nah, King Felix not getting back to gold. I don't really see it. Snell does have great stuff. I totally agree. You're going to go watch Taijuan Walker tomorrow? I'm a big Taijuan Walker fan. He's definitely somebody that I put on the initial investment list. Like, he's not going ham right now, but not everybody, you don't have to always be investing in the guys that already have their stats in place. Taijuan Walker's stats so far are pretty meh. 15% strikeout rate, 9% walk rate, same as last year. That's fine. 9 hits per 9.82 homers, but he's still surviving with it because he has good enough stuff to get out of jams. I would not run away from Taijuan Walker at all. I've got 5 right now. I like that. He's not as high end right now, but he's definitely somebody to hold for the long term. Oh shit, what the hell did I just do? Ty Block, where would Ty Block get upgraded though? Because he just doesn't miss enough bats. I think what he does is already kind of represented in his card, right? I mean, the K9, you would be like, well, that could go up, right? No, not really, because he's actually striking out fewer than he did last year. And last year he had a 4.0 Ks per 9, which is just horrible. I think he's pretty firmly a low bronze. Excuse me. You just traded Boxy for Bundy. That's really nice, Joker. I like that. That's a fair deal, though. If that guy needs saves, like, I get why he's doing that too. Yeah, Halos. I mentioned Godley. I really like him. Yeah, Schwebs. Yeah, I figure people will be investing. Shawn Minaya. Shawn Minaya was on the initial investment list. He's done nothing to make me take him off of that. I'm a big Shawn Minaya fan. Everything comes down to health for him. Let's be honest, it comes down to health for a lot of pitchers, but I mentioned his health specifically because of all the health issues he's had. But he's really showing strong command of his stuff right now. The strikeouts are coming back up after, I think his first start had weak strikeouts, and then the last couple have been good. No, first one was good. Second one was 4 strikeouts and 8. innings. That's the thing, though, guys. One start can change so much. That's why I look so much at like swinging strike rate and the actual pitches, how they're performing. His swinging strike rate is actually at a career high 13% so far, and he has a 2% walk rate. So I like Minaya. I think he's a firm silver at some point this year, meaning 77-ish, and a real chance at gold. Thoughts on Joey Lucchesi? I'm going to rewatch the start tomorrow. I watched a couple innings, but it was on mute, so I don't really have a firm opinion. I thought he came in this year, and I was like, who's this guy? I don't know. What is he, garbage? But he pitched brilliantly by the box score in Coors Field. And that's always something that kind of catches your eye. 8 strikeouts tonight. He's been missing bats. Soft tosser, 25-year-old rookie. So I'm not sure. I don't know where he got 94. Maybe that was his minor league report because he's averaging 90 at the majors right now. So we'll see. But definitely someone that I have no problem investing in once the price comes down. The problem with the new guys, and I'll burst the bubble right now on somebody you guys might be interested in as a hitter. Scott Kingery is so expensive because he was a new card on Friday that his price isn't low enough to invest in. I think that's the case with Lucchesi right now. You can't really invest in him because he's a common who costs this much. What's Berrios got to do to go gold? He's got to continue to do what he's been doing, which is miss bats. We've got to see him miss the bats consistently. I love Jose Berrios. I've been a fan since his prospect days. There's a lot of growth here. So it's not like missing bats isn't his only way to get upgraded, but the hits and even the walks to a degree can be more volatile and less trustworthy in an early sample. So I think that they're less likely, especially the hits. The hits can be so volatile. One bad game, your hit rate can just completely skyrocket this early. So they're less likely to look at, somebody allowing 3.2 hits and give them an upgrade because that's not going to last. Nobody has a 3.2. I think the season best is usually around 5. And that's like a Chris Sale, Clayton Kershaw, guys like that do that. So, he's at 5.9 right now, which is great. But I think we could realistically expect him to stay at like 7.2. That would be awesome. 26% strikeout rate, 8.6 strikeouts. See, that's a thing too, by the way. I was talking about K9 versus strikeout rate. This is a great example. Last year, he had a 23% strikeout rate. This year, he has 26. He's like 3 percentage points. That's a boost. That's something. His K9 is actually the same. Well, technically it's down ever so slightly, 8.59 to 8.56, but we'll call it the same. It's 8.6. That's because he's not walking anybody. So he's actually not really striking out more guys on a per 9 basis, which is what this stat is based off of. If it was based off of K percentage, he would have a better chance to get upgraded there. But he just doesn't miss the bats right now to make me feel super comfortable about investing more than just a little. And I sold mine during after the shutout. I had 6 right off the top. I sold them all for like 800, and now I'm kind of waiting. I did already go over Corbin, yes. What up, Cheeto? Not tonight. I'd be a great OOTP streamer. I've done OOTP. Thank you, by the way. I appreciate you saying that. What site do I use for research? The one I write for, Fangraphs and Baseball Reference. Yeah, Raven, he's a glitch, man. He's a glitch. All right, I'll look at, I'm going to look at Reynaldo Lopez, Nick Pivetta, and then we're going to move on to catcher. Reynaldo's probably got a lot of growth. Yeah. So I think he's a good investment for sure. Volatile one, 100%. But with that price, you can afford to take the chance on the volatility. But he's missing bats big time. In fact, his strikeout rate could almost be higher with the kind of swing and miss he's showing. But he's still learning. He's 24 years old. He's still learning how to sequence, how to best deploy his stuff. Last year, he had a nice big walk rate improvement, but he lost his strikeouts. So he was kind of focusing on command and not really worrying about strikeouts, keeping it in the zone, saying, if they make contact, I'll try to let my defense handle it. They didn't because they were dog shit. And he had some home run issues. So actually, I should say he was working on his control. And I make the distinction because command and control are different. Control is simply your ability to put it in the zone. Command is your ability to put it in the zone where you want. And or not even necessarily in the zone where you want, but to put it where you want. So he was working on his control last year and sacrificing some command. As long as I'm hitting the zone, they might hit it, but I'm trying to show that I can fucking control the ball. And he did. 7% walk rate, that was great. But 15% strikeout rate, that's terrible. And he wasn't himself. This year he's saying, okay, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to fool these guys. If I walk somebody, I'll attack the next guy. And that's what's happening. 15% walk rate is too high, and it will need to come down. But I do think that he's learning things because he has a 65% swing, or excuse me, that'd be amazing. 65% first pitch strike rate. And that's very heavily correlated to walks. And he's usually been at 56 or 61% the last 2 years. So this is a pretty big jump. And it suggests to me that the walk rate will come down. If the Ks hold or go up along with the walks coming down and he continues to hold down the hits, I think he's an easy silver. So I like Reynaldo Lopez. And then Nick Pivetta is going to be the last starting pitcher, and then we'll go on to catcher. Each position is going to be a little bit quicker because with starting pitcher, obviously it's a deeper pool, and I covered a bunch of guys. So Nick Pivetta has that one glaring weakness of his hit 9 that's going to allow him to get boosted quickly if he can get that in check at all. 8.4 is actually a big improvement for him after last year's 9.7, but I think he'll need to see more to get a sizable upgrade there. He does miss a ton of bats this year. 14% swinging strike rate, good for an 11.2 strikeout rate. It's only 2 starts, though. It's only 9 2/3 innings. So, investable for sure. Definitely worth getting a few shares and seeing what's what, because also that homer 9 can easily go up if he keeps the ball in the yard. Last year he allowed 1.7 homers. This year he hasn't allowed a homer yet. So definitely someone to get. I don't think I see gold in his future, but I definitely see a path to silver if he continues to pitch like this. He became a bit of a trendy sleeper in fantasy circles toward the end of draft season. He was a one-time sort of like a organizational prospect, and what I mean by that is that he was like top 10 in the organization, which was Washington, and then he got traded to Philly. I think he was traded for Papelbon. So that's, that means he was a prospect of some note. Wasn't a top 100 guy, but even to make a top 10 list, even on a bad system, which Washington's system was solid before they traded everybody. So that's pretty good. So I'm keeping a close eye on Nick Pivetta. Am I worried about Faria at all? Yeah, a little bit. Not enough to be like quitting him. What up, Janny? If I didn't say hi to you, let me give a general hi right now. I'm not as focused on chat with what we're doing here, going over each position and everything, but I will definitely be saying hello to everybody. Will the Discord be it will. I'll be putting the notes I took for this stream as well as some other guys on the list. So if you didn't hear me cover somebody and you're like, whoa, dang, why didn't that guy get covered? Maybe he'll be on the list that includes some non-stream guys. All right, so just reviewing quickly the guys I talked about. Aaron Sanchez and Jay Happ on the Jays. Zach Godley, Patrick Corbin on the Diamondbacks. Garrett Cole, Charlie Morton, and Justin Verlander, but that was kind of an aside, on the Astros, and Jamison Tyner on the Pirates. I didn't mean to put a bunch of pairs on different teams, but that's how it broke down. All right, let's move over to catcher now. Oh, shit. Just a couple names at catcher. Nothing crazy here. Chris Iannetta back out in Colorado doing some work. He's hitting righties, which is nice because he's always been, as you can see, a lefty killer, 71-70. Getting a big boost today, by the way. Dang. Crushing on lefties. Although I don't think he did because Lucchesi was pitching really well, like I mentioned earlier. So if he continues to hit against righties, and being in Coors will certainly help that, it's an easy path to a silver upgrade for him. I mean, he's just got to be like a slightly above average hitter against righties, and he can get a nice upgrade to like 75, 76. So, and if he continues to beat the heck out of lefties. As you can see, he can get upgrades there and also influence a boost. So I probably don't see Gold, barring something crazy. I mean, he's 34 years old. I know Coors can do crazy things, but if it's all Coors infused, I don't think they're going to give him some big upgrade, though, either. So you would have to not only hit righties, but also hit home and away. So let's just call it silver is the upside here. Yadi Molina already has 3 homers. He flirted with Gold for most of last year and never, or I don't think he quite got, did he ever get there? I don't think he was. I think he was silver the whole year last year. He could push diamond if he continues to hit for power. Now, I think that would be something that he would have to have, like, double-digit home runs at the All-Star break, so this would be more of a long-term sort of thing. But, again, he's already got 3. He's got a 263 ISO. He's smacking the ball pretty well. 42% hard contact rate. You know, it's interesting because, like, you know, he's pulling the ball a lot. We're seeing some late career catcher power, which is definitely something that is an MLB type of trend that you do see a lot. Older catchers, once they're kind of established in, and he's obviously been established in for a while, but it's just kind of a trend of catchers kind of develop some power late on. So yeah, just those 2 right now. I'll take some questions on some catchers, handful of catchers. Pushing diamond, pushing umpire, right? Guys, we're only doing questions at the position in question right now, which happens to be catcher. Dusty Old Fart and DNU, thank you guys for the follows. Appreciate it. Oh, Beef Castillo's a good one. He was on the initial list. And I'm still sticking with that for sure. If you're a sub, you can definitely check out the list in the investments Discord under the pinned messages, and you'll see some other guys there too if you want to start investing in them. But yeah, I think there's definite power upgrades to be had. He's in another great park. You know, he hit 20 homers last year. I could really see him popping 25 homers. Like it's I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, especially as the weather warms up. He's got a big 308 ISO. I don't think it's going to continue quite at that level, but yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by what he's doing. I wouldn't go crazy though. The one thing I will say is, like, you know, he hit 282 last year, which was great. I'm a little suspect of that. I would say like 252 is more likely than 282, and he's hitting 231 right now. So even if the power gets upgraded, there could be some risk on the contact. So don't overinvest in Beef, but I do think there is a path to gold for the 30-year-old catcher. Again, kind of giving some credence to that late power surge. He's always had power, but I think he's finally kind of established as the guy. And if he does the damage against righties, which so far he has done some good damage, 3 of his 5 hits have gone for extra bases, 2 doubles and a homer. Very small samples, keep that in mind. No Beef in here? I don't think so. Kraken downgrade? Who's that? Oh, Sanchez? No. No, he gets a long leash, y'all. He gets a long leash. But yeah, he's got diamond possibility, but he has to get going. Obviously, he's put himself, you know, behind the curve a little bit. Whereas, you know, if he was already on a hot start right now, like the way freaking Yachty is, if he had Yachty's numbers, he'd already be getting, you know, flirting with potential diamond upgrade. But the real key would be batting average against lefties and starting to make more contact against lefties. So without that, and obviously he's got to get the calf healthy and get back on track all together. So I would not be going crazy in any Gary Sanchez investments, but if you should have him on your team because he's a monster in this game. And then if you want to get 1 or 2 on the side and you're a big baller right now, then by all means. was Evan Gattis' rating. His primary DH does not hurt his card in this game. He's pretty well rated as is. I mean, I can envision a power surge where he gets boosted, but he doesn't have a homer yet this year. I don't know. I don't really see gold. Even plus 10s against righties, as you can see here, only puts him up to 78. So he would need to go ham against righties and lefties. I wouldn't really be investing. What up, D-Lee? Maldonado on the Angels. I do like Maldonado. I like Maldonado and Tucker Barnhart, the 2 Gold Glove winners last year, because if they can do some hitting, they've already got their defense on lock. I like Barnhart more, by the way, just as an aside. He's already silver, though, so he's already better, so that's not really going out on a limb. But yeah, Maldonado is kind of interesting. 31 years old. I think it would need to come via power. Although I will say, only 16% strikeout rate so far this year. Never mind, I don't believe that at all. His chase rate is actually higher, a career worst 40%, and his swinging strike rate is actually higher too, a career worst 15%. So no, I don't believe in the 16% strikeout rate at all. So his 269 average, I think, is a stone cold fluke. So yeah, it would have to come via power, and he doesn't have any homers right now. He only has 7 hits and 1 extra base hit. So now I wouldn't really invest in Maldonado. Bombers, we're on catcher right now, dog. What up, G. Kimball? Nah, Austin Barnes, man, he's really doesn't he have to kind of get some playing time really going? He's only got 14 plate appearances. I love Austin Barnes, man. I was hyping him up all playoffs. He's taking great at-bats. I was liking him for the season coming in. And it's been a slow start. So, no, I think he really needs to get hot. He could be kind of one of those, get him. Well, it's not even really that cheap right now either. That's the thing. I think other people like him too. I mean, just as I started to in fantasy, I would also take his counterpart, Yasmani Grandal, more in the investment market right now too. Because Grandal's been a gold before. He's raking so far. Only 1 homer, but 321 average, 406 OBP. I mean, that's already shown in the great discipline, though. He is still striking out a lot, though, so that vision's not going to go up. But yeah, I think Grandal is the better investment of the two, and I'm not sure I'm really investing in either. What up, Norm? All right, I'll take one more question on catcher. Oh, Wilson Ramos. I do like Wilson Ramos. Guys, I'm doing the position that I'm on right now, which is catcher. Oh, someone asked about Morton. What's Russell Martin up to? Is he hitting right now? Oh, he's got 2 homers. Oh, yeah, but nothing else really. So he'd have to get going. I probably wouldn't invest in a 35-year-old catcher. I like Ramos. I think he's got the power to do big things this year. That team sucks, but that shouldn't really impact him. He doesn't have a homer yet. In fact, he's been off to a bad start. But I like him as a longer-term investment because once he gets going, I think he can really hit. And, of course, he's only 2 points away. So, yeah, I don't think it would take much. I mean, you see plus 2s against righties. That alone gets him to 79. So sometimes Inside Edge can give us some guidance because we see that plus 2s, very small upgrade against righties, already puts him to 79. Boom, he's 1 point away from gold. So, yeah, I like getting some Wilson Ramoses to sock away and wait to see if he gets going. Didn't they win like the last 2 days? Sorry, they beat the fucking White Sox 2 days in a row, and I need to put some respect on their name now, apparently. Okay, I'm sorry, man. Sorry, Joey Wendell, a Danny Hechavarria. Sorry, Kevin Kiermaier with your .094 batting average. Sorry, Dat Muffy and Malik Smith. Fucking studs. You silly goose dirt. All right, that's catcher. Not too much to go crazy. Because not only are we dealing with tiny samples as it is, but catchers are even smaller because they don't play every day. All right, we're going to go to first base now. Get your first base questions ready. Don't put them in yet because I'm not reading the chat. But I'm going to cover these three guys, and then we'll take some first base questions. All right, first guy actually just got hurt, which is unfortunate, but he's been tearing the cover off the ball. And maybe his getting hurt, if it's not too serious, will keep the price at bay. Let me actually pull up his RotoWire to see where we're at. Okay, he didn't play tonight, but we'll see. Okay, so it's Jose Martinez on the Cardinals. Where's he? 74. Where is he? 72. Oh, no, there he is. 74. Okay, so yeah, I mean, he's crushing right now. I think he's a pretty easy silver. You know, he was a big StatCast darling last year. They loved the skills that he was showing, and they were talking him up on the StatCast podcast. He's 29, you know, kind of a late bloomer. Cardinals always do this. He's already got silver hitting, as you can see, but I think that can continue to go up, specifically with the power. He does already have 2 homers, but just a 167 ISO. So keep an eye on it. We got to see if the power, can stay at that 200 plus ISO that he had last year, and that would be the best avenue for him to get boosted. But he doesn't strike out either. He's at 10% so far this year, and if that continues, then the vision will definitely go up. So this dude's a hitter. He didn't get to play today. Wait, he wasn't in the starting lineup, but I think he pinch hit, which would be very positive about the Achilles heel, because he got Lorenzo Cain collided with him yesterday, and they both got nicked. I don't think it's going to be a DL stint for Martinez, and if he did pinch hit today, which is what this looks like it's showing, let me check the box score real quick. I'm sure one of you has already said in chat whether or not he did, but I'm checking it. Yeah, he did, and he went 1 for 1. So that's Gucci. And that speaks well about the potential injury. So yeah, I think he's a good, he's 1 point away from silver. So I think we'll see it. I think we'll definitely see it at some point. I like the way he hits. He's a really good hitter. All right. Let's fire it back up, y'all. Let's fire back up the Justin Smoak for Gold Watch. We spent the entire year last year waiting. Well, not the entire year. You know what I mean, though. Once things got going there, and it was clear that he was having a breakout, we were like, hey, let's get him to gold, and it never came. It never came. And you know what? That's fair. He was a 30-year-old having a breakout like nothing he'd ever done before. I don't know. I think maybe they should have golded him at some point. Did he ever get a Player of the Month or anything? No. Yo, Viv, thanks for the follow. Unmod Karl Malone. I'm missing something there. Sauce me a smoke. Anyway, okay. So he is back to raking again this year. I will say the one thing that has me... I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm not overly concerned because, again, it's fluctuating game to game pretty wildly. His strikeout rate's back up to 29%, and that was a key driver in his success last year. He had a 20% strikeout rate, which was like far and away a career best. He went from 33 in 2016 down to 20 last year. So that helped him hit for 270 batting average with the 38 yaks. He's already got 2 yaks this year and 5 doubles, so the power's there again. Let me see if he's been hitting lefties, because as you can see, that would be the better avenue for him to get boosted. He is. Neither of the homers, actually just 1 double. Never mind. He doesn't. No, he's just got a bunch of singles. and a 636 BABIP. So if he starts to hit for some homers against lefties, I think that's really going to help. Otherwise, batting average against righties is going to be the big driver this year to get him to gold. And I do think he can get gold in relatively short order. He's already hitting 296 against them. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, he's 2 points away. I would definitely be fine investing at this price too. It's really not even that high. I would have thought it was higher given that he's one of a handful of 78s, but maybe people were scared after last year. All right, one more, and then I'll take some questions on first baseman. Yo, Hanley Ramirez. It looks like the market's already sneak tipping on him though already at 533, 400. But Hanley, man, obviously with these old guys that have been stars before, it's really about the health, 100% with him. I mean, anytime Hanley's been healthy, he's been good, right? Like, it's that simple. Anytime he has like a total shit year, there's something behind it injury-wise, like substantial, like a big shoulder injury or some knee injury or something. Because this dude can just hit 34. He can still just hit. Let's see, did he do anything tonight? He went 2 for 4 with his 3rd stolen base. I don't know what's up with that. I know he said he wanted to go 30-30 this year. It's crazy that he has 1 homer and 3 stolen bases. I'm not really buying that, but he is hitting 330. Excuse me, he's hitting 359 so far this year. But we'll see. Oh, excuse me, he was 2 for 2 with 2 walks? Or no, a walk and a sac fly. I thought it was plate appearances, not at-bats there, because it's saying he batted 1,000. So yeah, anyway, he raised it to 359. He's not going to hit 359 all year, but if he hits anything over 300, hell, if he hits anything over 290, that's going to raise those contact numbers and get him to gold. Hanley is a gold hitter. He should be a gold hitter, and it's still a common fielder, but whatever. So yeah, Jose Martinez, Justin Smoak, Hanley Ramirez are the 3 I'm looking at right now. First base questions. Carlos Santana. That was tracking well, and then the wind caught it, and it died a horrible death. Carlos Santana's showing some power right now, but that's about it. Oh, but his usual plate skills are there, so I'm looking at a 143 BABIP, and I'm saying that he's been unlucky, and yeah, I'm definitely looking to invest. Because I think he's got the power to get upgraded and push gold. Let's see what he's doing against lefties early on. That'd be nice. If he could come out, smack some homers and doubles against lefties. Nothing so far. But again, nothing's falling against anybody. He's got 2 homers, 2 doubles against righties. He's never going to be a big batting average guy, but let's at least get him back up to the 259 that he's hit each of the last 2 years. 143 BABIP. I mean, the shit's just not falling for him. Let me look at his batted ball profile. Oh, yeah, he's clubbing the ball. Yeah. I would definitely buy in on him. Matty Carp. I mean, he had a home run tonight, but is he doing anything else? I've just been reluctant because, like, I'm still a little bit nervous on the shoulder. I know he's got a similar, like, dog shit BABIP, like Santana. Where is he? Is he at third base? Bro, are you saying third baseman on the first base one? Killing me, Smalls. Yeah, I mean, it just comes down to showing some real power. Because he's not a big batting average guy. His discipline, his key asset is already very well shown in his card. He's striking out a lot more this year so far. And if that continues, then his vision could actually get downgraded. So I don't really see gold. I like Matt Carpenter a lot. just as a player, just what he generally does over his career, but I'm not sure he's a gold this year. I'm not sure he's going to get back there. Miggy to diamond possible? Absolutely. Because Miggy is already a diamond caliber hitter, but if he's showing the power, then he's going to bounce back up there. Like, that power has growth potential. He's only got 1 homer so far, but he's got 4 doubles, I think. Let me see. 3 doubles, 182 ISO. If he gets up over 200 ISO, then we can start to see some upgrades there. So it's possible. You know, I wouldn't overinvest at 4,000 plus. And you can see, like, he's such a good hitter. But it seems like the market even agrees, you know, that he's got the possibility. That's why they're paying more for him than Braun, even though those two aren't really that different. Of course, he's a much better hitter than Hosmer. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like, I see it. I would not overinvest just because he is expensive. Is Pedro Alvarez a good investment? Is he really playing? Jose Abreu, you know, I honestly think only power against righties is possible for upgrade. Because, I mean, everything else is over 80, which is really strong. Now, he is coming out and hitting some homers right off the top, which is good because he usually struggles early on. Not openly has said that he's not a huge fan of the cold weather, but he's already got 3 yaks and a couple doubles. So the pop's already there, 268 ISO. That could be interesting. But I really think it would have to be power against righties that gets upgraded to really push him. And I'm not sure, unless it really surged up into the 80s with the other numbers, then maybe we could see diamond. But yeah, not a terrible investment, especially for his cost. He's cheaper than Miggy. What are we thinking on Yonder Alonso? Where is old Yondito? Yeah, you know, another guy like Smoak last year, even a more extreme example, actually, because he had a big surge in something he'd never done. He hit 28 homers. I don't think he had 28 homers in his career to that point. And I'm barely kidding. I actually think he had more than 28, but, like, not that many more. In his career, prior to last year, he had 39 homers in 2,343 plate appearances. Then last year he hits 28. This year he's already got a couple power strokes there. Nothing else really working just yet. But BABIP painfully low. Plate skills are solid. I like Yonder. Solid investment. Definitely think he's going to get silver this year. Is that the Cubs? No, I live near a fire station. And for some, well, maybe it's because of the summer, but in the summer you'll hear it even a lot more. But yeah, it's like literally right over there. We're not doing any relievers, Eddie, because their samples are so small that it's really difficult to say anything about what they're doing at all. Ugh. Joe Mauer would have to hit. I'm not even really going to look. Like, he'd have to hit for power, and he just doesn't. Thames is an interesting one, but his power is pretty well represented. So unless he starts hitting for batting average, which isn't out of the realm of possibilities, but it's also pretty unlikely. So I don't really see it. Like, he's cut his strikeout rate, and he smacks the shit out of the ball. So, like, there's a path to being a better batting average hitter, but he also hits at a 40% plus fly ball rate, which that's not conducive to base hits. Ground balls are more likely for base hits, ground balls and line drives. And he's a fly ball guy. He's a power guy. So I think his card is pretty well situated where it's at. I don't really see a gold future. Matt Olson, he was on the early investment list for sure. The thing of it is, I think I put a little bit of a, don't get too crazy with him sort of deal because, I mean, look at his card's pretty well repped. The way it's supposed to be. I think I might have just said that in streak because I didn't write it here. But I don't encourage like crazy investment on Matt Olson. Like, oh, I have 200 Matt Olsons. Because he's not going to be a batting average guy. He strikes out a shit ton. He's a power guy. Like he can be a solid silver like Eric Thames, but Eric Thames is actually a pretty decent comp for Matt Olson. So yeah, he only needs 1 point. As you can see, it's 2 points against lefties on each side. That would get him to silver. So yeah, easy silver. But unless you just want to buy a bunch of silvers at like 95 to trade him in, I just don't really see a path to gold. Oh, somebody asked about Josh Bell. Your boy's a big Josh Bell fan. I will say that. He was actually mentioned in the initial list. So those of you that have been subscribers, you should already have some Josh Bell shares. Because I said, there's some upside here. The thing of it is, the power needs to drive it. And so, if you start to see him like go with long streaks without homers, push away, and maybe don't super invest. Silver seems like, I don't want to say a guarantee because something could go wrong, but I love his plate approach. He's got solid power after last year. I even think there's some potential batting average upside. So I think silver is in the bag. Like I really do think that that's a really strong possibility coming through. Gold, again, there's a path, but it's going to take something we haven't seen from him, which is kind of melding his ability to get base hits, which we saw in the minors and 2016, with the power that we saw last year. And kind of getting all four categories on the contact and power up into the 70s. And then you can start to talk gold. I do like him. Strong investment. Definitely in. When he gets silver, though, I would just hold. Cool, Imperial. Everyone believes you. My wife left me because I bought 2 million in Otanis and I didn't sell them on Sunday, so she just left. I mean, I don't blame her, but like, I thought it maybe was like a little bit of an overreaction, but she just left. Continuing on. Second base. All right, second base, we start. Dozier has to be on Diamond Watch. I mean, he has a diamond card out there. We know what a diamond season looks like. The thing I like is that maybe he's reversing his trend. We obviously won't know. We can't predict the future, but usually he starts off slow, spots the league a few months, and then has to have the blazing hot summer to kind of catch up and put his season numbers back where they belong. Well, this year he's off to a great start. So he's saying, you know what? I'm not gonna spot y'all a full couple months. 4 walks today, by the way. He goes 1 for 1 with 4 walks. What a day. Brian Kenny would be loving that. But he already has 4 homers. The power's been obscene. He's striking out less, so the vision, if that's real, he's striking out 13%. That's a career best. If there's some changes there that back that up, and not that he would hold the 13%, but he's been a 20% guy. So even if he is like a 16, 17, that'd be a little bit of enough of a boost to get a little bit of a jump on the vision. Say to maybe, I don't know, 69, something nice like that. Obviously, as you can see on his card, the key would be beasting on righties. If he's doing that, that's going to be his easiest avenue for upgrades. As you can see, it would take plus 13s against lefties just to get to diamond because the threshold's so high because he's already so good. Good news is all 4 homers are against righties, and he's absolutely destroying righties. So if you have big bankroll and you're looking to try to get in that diamond market, Brian Dozier, really strong. I would get a couple. Guys, I don't know what that emote is that you're putting in there. Don't ask your questions until I'm done with the position, please, because I won't see it, because I don't scroll back up. All right, next up, in order of overall, Joe Panic. This is another one, what I said earlier about listen to what I say before just going and getting him because I brought up his name. I'd tap the brakes here a little bit. Don't overinvest. Dude, I love Joe Panic, man. I've been hyping him in fantasy circles now for a couple of years, just because I just think he's a true talent 300 hitter, just like a real kind of your old school number 2 hitter. You know how they used to have like kind of that contact, never strikes out, can move the runner, all that sort of stuff, hit behind, do everything you want. In the 2-hole, that used to be kind of the customary number 2-hole. I think Placido Polanco. He can definitely do that. He is a true talent 300 hitter, in my opinion. He does have the 3 home runs already, but that first one was like that cheap ass one that he ran down the right field line in LA. And he's a left-hander who plays half his games in San Francisco. I just don't know what we can reasonably expect for a power outburst from him. He doesn't have any doubles. If he starts hitting like a shit ton of doubles like Jed Lowry, then sure, I could see maybe more of a boost here. But I just don't see it in terms of, gold level, which is he would need a legitimate power boost to push gold. Can he get a couple points within silver? Sure. And go up to like a 78 based on contact? Yeah. And then maybe that makes him a better, BR guy if you're just looking for somebody to get base hits at the bottom of your lineup. But I would not go crazy based on the 3 homers right now. I don't think it's indicative of some sort of breakout. Yo, Sis, thank you for the 5 bits, man. I appreciate it. All right, next up. Now, this is a new guy. Most of you probably haven't even heard of him. I never talk about him. His name is Ozzy motherfucking Albies. Spam those Ozzy emotes, y'all. Spam the shit out of them. Look, yo, what up, Vic? Hey, Savage. I am 0% deterred by the fact that he has a low batting average right now. He's a little swing happy. Let's be real. He is up there looking to do damage, trying to swing, chasing a little bit too much, a little bit over aggressive. So he's hitting 227, but he has a 212 BABIP. That's not going to last, y'all. The speed and the quality of his contact alone, I'm guaranteeing you that that's not going to last. It's because it's a nothing guarantee. It's so obvious. So that batting average will go up, and I think it'll go up to at least 280, if not higher. The contact that he is making, though, has been big. 7 extra base hits out of his 10 hits, including 3 doubles, a triple, and 3 yaks. Love it. Obviously, the power can get upgraded. I'm holding him, and I'm trying to get gold. Like that's the bottom line for me. I do believe that there's gold potential here, and so even when he gets silver, which shouldn't take too long, I'm not selling. Plus, I have a nice 69 right now, so how could I? Oh, yeah, and if his lost helmets per 9 goes up, that'd be huge. His stealing should go up because he was a good base stealer in the minors, if I recall correctly, and he's 9 for 10 in the majors, which that's a small sample overall, but let me look at his minor league record. Maybe I'm full of shit, but I think I know him, I remember him as a quality base stealer. Oh, fuck yeah, dude. He's 102 out of 130. That's a 79% rate. I'm actually really surprised that he's only a 16. Wait till Immortal. Exactly. But yeah, I'm stocking up. Y'all already know. Nothing's changing here. The fact that he has a low batting average, I was hoping would make him cheaper. It hasn't really. Everyone's in on him. They should be. Get your Albies shares and just hang on for the ride, y'all. All right, one more, and then I'll take y'all's questions at second base. The guy right below him. Good old ass dribble. He's smacking the ball early on. He hit his third homer today. He's got a 341 average, 400 on base, 634 slug. He's been a really solid player the last couple of years with the Mets. And I think he's going to have a good year this year. The power surged in 16, came back to earth a little bit last year, but he's starting to hit again this year. Wait, I thought he hit another homer today. Yeah, his second homer today, not his third. I think I lied. I'm a GD liar. I think I said 3, and I believe it's 2. Let me just check that game real fast. He hit 2. He does have 3. He hit 2 yaks today. So, yeah, I think Brady would... I know he's streaming right now, but if this guy gets upgraded, Brady would go crazy. And honestly, I'm not even going to rule out, some fringe gold potential. If he goes back to the 20-plus homers of a couple years ago, when he had a 194 ISO and he hit 23 yaks. He hit 280 that year as well. He hit 280 last year. And if he's doing the damage against righties, come on. Now he hit 1 homer against a lefty, 1 homer against a righty today. He got bear claw late. So keep an eye on that. He's probably just going to go silver and maybe, mid to high silver. The gold opportunity is... It's scant. It's a scant opportunity, but it has to come from the power. But yeah, keep an eye on that. So okay, so that's second base. What do you guys think? Oh my God, that's hilarious! Someone went and bought up all the Albieses. Y'all are wild. That's so funny. No one's going to buy your 22.55. You guys are crazy. Best player in the game. Possibly Starlin. What's he doing so far? Guys, by the way, this is the first one, and I know a lot of you guys are new, so I'm being lenient. But starting next week, I won't answer questions that don't include what you want upgraded for a guy. Since it is early in the season, I'll go look and kind of do a profile sweep. But otherwise, bring to the table what you want. Because some of you guys are giving some really bad names that have no business even being asked about upgrades. Like they're not doing anything well. So please, do not make me do all the work. Albie's back down to a normal-ish price. Minnesota, we already did first base. No, I saw that, but the problem is his park, Ben. I saw that he doesn't strike out, actually. You said he strikes out so much. He doesn't strike out at all. That's one of his big things. But he is trying to tap into more power, be more selective, because he could afford to strike out a little bit more if it's in favor of a better pitch to crush. But that park just makes it so hard. I did talk about Jose Martinez, Lamb. I'm in on him. Eaton's going back to the DL. Damn. Why isn't Schimpf diamond? He already is. They just put him in a bronze to trick us. Oh, yeah. Obviously, I didn't talk about Ohtani under starters because his price is so high right now that it's, you better be thinking gold, high gold, or even low diamond potential if you're investing right now, because otherwise, actually, there is some day trading potential there. It's super risky, but if you buy now at 5,000 and you just wait till the next start, and you hope that he starts off with 4 or 5 big innings, then he'll boost back up to like 9, and then you can sell him then. Werecat, is he hitting righties or is he hitting lefties well this year? Let me take a look at Cano real quick. Thank you for actually bringing something about his profile. Oh yeah, he's crushing him. It's very early. It's a minuscule sample, but he is smacking lefties. Yeah, if he goes off on lefties, that's ripe for improvements. I will say though, as you can see with the Inside Edge, again giving us some guidance, even plus 11s, which is a pretty substantial jump, only gives us 2 points on the overall. So it wouldn't be easy, and he was such dog shit against lefties last year that he would really have to be exemplary, like kind of replicate some of the best years of his career, which were all the way back in 2010 and 2011. So it's not likely, but that is the path. You have identified the path. It would have to be against lefties, and it would have to be really strong while also beasting on righties. So it would really take a 35-year-old, really getting back to his peak level. And granted, we saw him beast out in 2016. Like, it wasn't that long ago that we saw him really go ham. But that was, I think, righty skewed. Yeah, it was righty skewed, which is what his card is already. So, yo, Ryan, thanks for the follow. He's tearing up lefties, but it's 8 plate appearances, y'all. LeMahieu to gold. LeMahieu is always one to watch. Or he was last year, I should say. But this year, with the way they have the over 100s, as you can see, they hooked him up against righties, or against lefties, with the 101. The only way gold is happening is if he has some sort of power surge. And right now he is hitting for some power. 186 ISO, which would easily be his career best. He has 2 homers and 2 doubles. But even though he plays in Coors, he's never hit more than 11 homers. So we would have to see something we've never seen from him. As you can see, plus 15s against lefties only takes him to 81. Wait, that would be gold, excuse me. So, but plus 15s is also a pretty substantial boost. And I don't think he's going to get plus 15 contact. He's already 101. Like, that's not going to happen. So it all has to come from power. So if DJ LeMahieu, is on like a 45 double pace and a 15 homer pace 2 months into the season, then we can start to entertain it. But right now, I think his card is kind of perfect for who he is, and I think he'll find his level. Oh shit, I love this song. You mean different positions? Do they have like different thresholds? It's pretty normalized, but actually within the ratings, certain things play better at different positions. For example, like power at first base isn't as well rewarded as it would be at, say, second or shortstop. So yeah, he wouldn't necessarily, LeMahieu to get power upgrades wouldn't necessarily need to hit. Excuse me, Fields. I'm sorry, I was misinterpreting you there. No, that's one of the most interesting things about baseball is that the fields aren't standardized at all. Should you give up on Moncada as an investment or in fantasy or both? I mean, you don't really need to expound on that. By the way, somebody mentioned Cesar Hernandez. He was on the initial investment list. He would really need power. That's the only thing. It's like his contact is pretty well taken care of. So unless we start to see some real power boosts from him, there's probably not the path to gold. But as for Moncada, you know, I've got these 7, and you know that are sellable, and I've just been hanging on to them, but I haven't really been getting more. He was down to like 77 the other day when I was trolling around, and I was like, oh, I can get some, and I just didn't. But I wouldn't sell. No, you know, I'm not going to sell the ones I have. I don't see any reason to do that because he didn't pay a lot. You can afford to wait. He only needs 2 points. If he has a big 2-week run, he gets everything back on track, and then he's kind of building from that. You know, the power, despite the slow start, his ISO is only down 19 points, which is nothing. That's changed in one day if he goes 2 for 5 with a homer and a double or something. So the bottom line is no, I don't think you can really give up on him. I understand the frustration, though, because he just keeps striking out, man. The dude loves striking out. And he doesn't run. It's weird. So, no, don't give up yet, but it's frustrating. He's still just 23 years old and lots of upside. All right, guys, we're going to move on. Shortstop. Oh, third base first. We go shortstop at Fangraphs. All right, the one that everyone already knows, I am going to cover him, though, Matt Chapman, just in case somebody doesn't know. As you can see, he's already got diamond fielding, so everything can come from the hitting, and I love that because that's what gets upgraded the most. When a guy has, like, bad fielding ratings, but he deserves an upgrade like Tommy Pham did last year, it's difficult. It's difficult to get that done because they're not always looking at the fielding. That fielding is already set. All of it can come from hitting. He is absolutely destroying the baseball right now. This has been one of my top 5 investments from the jump. And I've been a big fan of him. You know, we're already seeing power. 4 of his 15 hits have gone for extra bases, 5 of his 15 hits have gone for extra bases, including 3 homers. He's got a 300 ISO. The strikeout rate is down. The chase rate's way down, too, from 27 to 17%. Which suggests that the strikeout gains could be legitimate. And if he strikes out at like a 20% clip, not only is that going to yield big results just on his offense, but it's also going to get a vision upgrade and make the card a lot better. Like, this is one of those where not only am I excited for the investment, but I'm excited for what it can bring for the card's playability. Because his power, I think, already deserves an upgrade. I was surprised they only got 61.56 from him. I think that those could both be in the upper 60s, low 70s at this point. But if you're also getting some contact upgrades and vision along with that defense, as a silver, he's like a BR god. And if he has a full breakout year, then we're talking gold. And then who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows? Oh, his BABIP's sky high. Anybody with a big batting average right now has a sky high BABIP, y'all. That's why I'm not bringing up the 375 average as if it's something to, bet on at all. He has a 429 BABIP. It's through the roof. Dart Wolf, thank you so much. 4 months in the cut. I appreciate you, dog. Yeah, he's smacking the ball. Not every BABIP, there's a big distinction between a BABIP that is unsustainable and one that is lucky. Unsustainable means you're just playing out of your mind right now. You're playing some of your best ball. Like, every player that plays all year usually has at least one run where they're just out of their mind. It's like, what the fuck? Daniel Descalso's hitting 400 over the last 2 weeks. Well, yeah, he's a professional ball player. They get dialed in, and everyone can have a run at the big league level. Chapman's is more unsustainable than Lucky right now because he has a 55% hard contact rate and a 48% ground ball rate. So everything's down and hard, getting through the infield for a bunch of base hits, and then when he does decide to lift, it's still going. He's still going far, but he only has a 32% fly ball rate right now. I'd like to see those balance out a little bit more. Last year, he had a 51% fly ball rate and a 34% ground ball. Between the two, I would prefer that because that's going to foster more power, but I'd really like to see them more balanced where let's get a ground ball rate that's in like the upper 30s, fly ball rate in the low 40s, and then a line drive rate that would be in the 20s. I think I did that math right. I think that checks out. But anyway, I love Matt Chapman. You guys already know. The market already knows, but get your Matt Chapmans. I've only got 20 right now, but I'm happy with that. All right, the other third baseman that I like is a common, actually. Colin Moran. He's raking, y'all. So here's the thing. He had a swing change last year to try to get some power. He was part of the fly ball revolution, whatever you want to call it, launch angle. He bought in. And he ended up clubbing 18 homers in 79 games at the minor league level. An injury stunted his season. But he's from the Houston organization, as you can see from the jersey there. And they're always on that next level stuff. So he learned some good stuff from them, and it paid immediate dividends. It's working already at the major league level this year. He's got a 172 ISO. He had that big grand slam, I think, against Lance Lynn. He has... Did he hit a homer today? Or am I tripping? No, he didn't. He has 1 homer, 2 doubles, 10% strikeout rate. So that 61 vision is pretty low. Only 7% walks, so that's probably not going to go up. But keep an eye on his power. I think he could have 200 plus ISO, and that would definitely get the power marks up into at least the 50s. Yeah, for sure, sire. For sure. Yeah, Marcos, he was number 6 overall pick back in 2013, so I think there's a lot of upside in Colin Moran's bat. So I would invest and just hang on for a while and see what's what. What up, Prime? All right. Third base questions. Nope, it's the other way around. Discipline is your walk rate. Travis Shaw. Let's see, I think Shaw was on the initial list. Definitely like Travis Shaw. Guys, he had some family issues last year with his newborn baby in the hospital, which, you know, a lot of guys obviously do better at home because they're at home with their families. It's your comfortable surroundings. It's your home ballpark that you're playing 81 times a year. And Milwaukee's ballpark's really good. And so, of course, everyone was expecting, well, he's going to come in as a lefty. It's really good for lefties and just beast out. He had, like, no sleep when he was at home. He was with his wife at the hospital, you know. And if they weren't at the hospital, they're staying up late just bugging out about the baby. Understandably. I'm not saying any of this to diminish it. I'm saying it to explain why basically the road was kind of a chance for him to say, okay, well, I can't do anything about my family right now while I'm gone, so this is my time, I guess, to just focus in on on hitting and do the best I can, and he beasted on the road. I think this year he could continue to beast on the road while also getting better at home. You'll be happy to learn baby is much healthier. Everything's going well. She's at home. I think his home situation is going to get a lot better. So even if he comes down on the road a little bit from last year's production, I think it'll be more than made up with good home production. He's off to a slow start there right now, but I'm not concerned at all. I do think he's going to finally utilize the ballpark. Suarez playing well, but he just broke his thumb. But he was off to a great start. Franco power. Dude, I love Maikel Franco. I'd love to see the power go up. I've been backing him for the last 3 years in fantasy. This is my last year of saying, hey, there's still something there. And if we don't see it this year, it's something where I'm just going to kind of back off, and he'll probably burn me the year I quit him. Did fucking Fangraphs just go down? That's not cool. What's his power looking like this year so far? Oh, he's got a couple homers. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, it's all there for him right now. He's getting playing time. But if he fucking hits the skids again, Scott Kingery will start taking more and more of that playing time. Matt Davidson for discipline and average. Dude, I don't know. It's tough with Matt Davidson because you do bring up the right avenues, because obviously his power, he's one of these that the power is what's getting everybody's attention, but it's already baked, it's already well done on the card. So it's, he has 4 homers, but he's in 250 and he's still striking out way too much. 31%. So I don't know, guys. I don't really see it. I've got 5, 4 sellable. I think it kind of is who he is. Like, he could hit 40 homers with a fucking 230 batting average. Is the batting average really? The batting average is 250 though, guys. Like, yeah, it's up 30 points, but should it really be up? Like, no. I don't see it. Yeah, Fangraphs is down. Sis, you got Beltray? That's awesome, dude. Brian Anderson has all the playing time in the world too, which is nice, and I like guys like that. He was a solid, if unspectacular, kind of prospect. Just one of the guys in their top 10, but never a big time flashy prospect. Here's the thing though, I think he's kind of like a 275, 20 homer guy, and yeah, that can get some upgrades from here, but to what? To like a 71? Is that silver? Does 70 silver? No. 75 is silver, right? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't really see it. Because he doesn't have a standout skill. So I really think it's more maybe high bronze. Yeah, they did primetime. But that's the right move. I love Todd Frazier, but that's the right move for an organization. Why pay the expensive version of something that you have super cheap if it's going to be the same production? Is actually the right move. Yeah, I don't know how much I believe in Yolmer Sanchez, though. I actually was looking at him the other day because he had a decent game, and I was looking at a bunch of White Sox. Yeah, the day after he hit 3 for 5 against the Tigers. I was like, oh, well, let's see what Yolmer's up to. 2 doubles. He was a little bit better last year, too. Where is he? He's not a third baseman. Oh, yeah, there he is. There he is. You're good. I'm just not sure, with two triples, it shows in the slug and it's part of the power, but I don't know. I think the batting average is the best opportunity, so that's good, and we can keep an eye on that. And if he continues to hit at, say, a 280 or above clip, then I think these can go into the 60s. Let's see, is he split against righties and lefties, or is he pretty even? He's pretty righty heavy right now, which is already his better side. So yeah, I mean, I still don't really see silver though. Not unless there's some big power breakout. Bregman or Cozart? What about him? Is Bregman even hitting? If I fucking look up Bregman and he's not hitting, I swear to God. He's hitting 175 with no homers. And you really had to say that 3 times? You didn't think I saw it? You're annoying. As for Cozart, doesn't he show up under second base right now? Yeah. I mean, look at this, guys. Plus 13s against lefties would only move him up 1 point. Where's Cozart going to go? Like, that's a terrible ask. I'm sorry, that's just a waste of time. All right. Next up is shortstop. All right, we got a handful of guys there, and I'm sure there'll be some questions too. So let me use the restroom real quick. Pardonnez-moi. Shortstop's in the cut. All right, hang on here. Yeah, Curtis Granderson to Diamond, obviously. First update should be. All right, let's start at the top here with Didi. He's just been out of his mind. And, like, I mean, he's just straight killing it right now with a monstrous approach. He has a 7% strikeout rate and 20% walk rate. I don't think I'm, like, being crazy to tell you guys that, spoiler alert, that's not going to hold. Hang on, let me let them know that Fangraphs is down real quick. They probably already know, but just making sure that everybody knows. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, so Didi, oh, it's back up anyway. Never mind, I lied. Now I have to go tell them I'm a liar. Never mind, never mind, never mind. Just delete the message. It never existed. I lie. Okay, there we go. Got Didi's page up. Anyway, so 10 of his 12 hits have gone for extra bases. So the power is just like obscene right now. He has a 531 ISO. ISO, for those that don't know, is your slugging minus your average. If his slugging was 531, that would be good. But it's a cool 906. Like, he is just out of his mind right now. Obviously, it can't last at this clip. But laying this foundation is, is huge. Because it's going to, afford him a lot of leeway, even if he does kind of hit a little bit of a cold streak, where his bottom line numbers are still going to look good. But I like Didi, man. He's always, his guys had emerging power, always had a good strikeout rate. If he's starting to mix in some walks with that, like, that's going to be huge. He's chasing a lot less. He's always been somebody who chases out of the zone. He's still at 32%, but that's really good because he's a career 37% and was at 40 and 41% the last 2 years. So he's swinging and missing a lot less, chasing less. Like, that's huge. So I think there's a lot to like about what Didi's doing right now. And there's plenty of power to be upgraded there. Definitely someone worth investing in for that potential dream season, especially under 3,000 stubs. Meaning I do think that there's some diamond potential. I do feel the same way about Xander Bogaerts, and now that he's hurt, it's only supposed to be a minimum stay, which, that's good, but you never know because you just can't always trust timelines. But he's got 9 extra base hits out of 14 hits, including 7 doubles. And since he did get hurt, the price went back down. I would definitely get a few here too, because he's also a power surge away from diamond. Remember, he briefly hit diamond a while back. What was it, last year? And it was for like 8 seconds? Or was that in 16? I think it was 16. Yeah, because that was the year that he beasted out, 294 with 21 homers. If you blinked, you missed it, but it was nice. All right. Then we have Yangervis Solarte, who's 76 right now. He's just kind of beasting, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on him. Again, raking, similar to Didi, he's raking and has an insane approach. 21% walk rate, 12% strikeout rate. Now, his strikeout rate's already represented in his card. He's always been a guy who makes a boatload of contact. He's in the best park he's ever played in. Because I think he was at old Yankee Stadium, right? And it was fine, but new Yankee Stadium was the primo. And he was a Padre since 2014. So now he's with the Jays. That's a good park, good division to hit in. I would be curious to see if we'll see any of this batting average uptick come to fruition. Because he hit 286 2 years ago. If he could be hitting in the 280 plus with the power that we're seeing early on and kind of maintain, say, like a 220 ISO, I don't rule out a gold potential. It's in there. It's a longer path. It's a less likely situation for a 30-year-old like this, but the base skills are there. He's never been a strikeout guy. He's got some punch in his bat. He's hit for batting average before because he never strikes out. If he can be more selective and unlock some power to the next level, he had a career high of 180 ISO. That was back in 2016. If he takes that up over 200 and hits on like a, 23 homer pace, I think we could see it. No center field. Pretty much everywhere else, though. All right, then the last one's kind of an obvious one. People are probably already invested in. Tim Anderson. He's just like, his stealing is weird too. We talked about Albies earlier, but like, why is he at 33? He's 31 for 34 in his MLB career. That's amazing. I don't know why he's so low in the stealing category. So that already needs an upgrade. He's showing big power early on with 3 homers. But it's a little suspect. There's a 35% strikeout rate that goes with it. I don't know. I'm a little tripped up by what's going on here. He's been a fantasy god with 3 homers and 6 stolen bases so far. But I'm curious how much of this power we can trust. But he's so cheap that he's definitely somebody I'm keeping an eye on. I do think he can finagle silver with relative ease at some point this year. So Tim Anderson, I think he can get silver in relatively short order. Gold would be tough. It'd be tough because he just has the worst plate skills in the world. He is walking 11% of the time, but that's because he has like 3 walks. 4. Okay, so pardon me. But like, he's still chasing out of the zone a shit ton. Pitchers still get ahead a lot with first pitch strikes. He still has a great, like an obscenely high swing strike rate. Like, he's hitting 265 with all this shit, and he's playing some of his best ball. Be careful with Tim Anderson in fantasy and in the investment market. Because I don't even know how much putting his steal rating up to like 80 would do. Like I think that might be worth 1 point of upgrade. All right. So I already know one question. I think he's here. Oh no, I guess we have a second. I'll go back for you, sire, since you want about Dixon Machado. I mean, he's got 6 doubles. I can say that. But he's only hitting 257 right now. He doesn't strike out. He is hitting the ball really hard. He only has a 10% soft contact rate, 48% hard contact. Like, he's smacking the shit out of the ball right now. Is there any swing changes with him? Yo, what up, Justin? Future Ranger Diamond Elvis Andrus? No, I'm taking shortstop questions right now. Yeah, Landy, I'm gonna make it into a YouTube video. I'm gonna do that with the P break and all. It'll just be there. Well, yeah, that's the thing, sire. I mean, he's got like it's a pretty easy upgrade because he's so low right now. But like, what are you expecting? Like a bronze? Sure, but how investable is that? If there's some swing changes that are unlocking this power, and he's like got a more concerted effort because he has a big fly ball rate, like I don't know. I haven't heard anything on the broadcast. Although I really only started paying attention to his at-bats the last couple days because you've been jocking him. So I'll do some extra research on that. I know I should know as a Tigers fan, but I didn't do my Dixon Machado research. Looks ready for a full-time job. Yeah, it doesn't show a lot. But he's going to play. Why not? You know? No, absolutely, Marcos. I was watching it. All right, let's get back to shortstops at large here. You guys talking about Elvis Andrus? Yo, I was on the Elvis Andrus train last year. We made bank off of him. Because I remember there was like a big week of hyping him because it looked like a certainty, and then he didn't get it. Everyone sold, double down on the buying. Then he got it. Boom, cash out. Oh, dude, he is dominating again. He's showing that power was real. 5 extra base hits out of 17 hits. Again, for the short term right now, because everything's a small sample. I know that, guys. I'm not trying to make sweeping judgments on any of it. But he also has 1 strikeout. Okay. Interesting. Smacking the piss out of the ball, pulling the ball. Not really getting in the air too much, but doesn't need like some obscene homer to fly ball rate. You know, last year's was 12%, and while it was a big jump for him, it's like barely above average. It's at 17% right now because he hasn't really been hitting many fly balls. But okay, I can get behind that. Yeah, I don't understand why his fielding is so low. I've always perceived him as a pretty sharp defender. I guess the metrics didn't like him last year, but I don't know, man. 1 year. I know that was 2 years ago. They didn't like him. They had him at average last year. I don't know. I think he's a solid defender. Anyway, no, I like this. This is interesting. But you see here, plus 15s only gets him to 82. So I know you're mostly tongue in cheek. I'm not sure that the diamond is there, barring an even bigger power breakout than last year, though. Like, do we see that as a legitimate possibility? He had 20 yaks last year, a 471 slug. I think he's got to be north of 500 slug, you know, for a good 2 months here to really get a substantial upgrade in pop. But he's tearing the cover off the ball right now, 100%. 100%. All right, any other shortstop questions? Yeah, I'm not sure what Freddie Galvis does that isn't already reflected in his card, though. I mean, he is hitting 351, but with a 429 BABIP, that's definitely coming down. He's got 1 extra base hit of each, a double, triple, and a homer. But just a 162 ISO, like we're not going to see any real power upgrades. He does have a 16% walk rate, but I don't know how legit that is. Plus, isn't he batting 8th? He does have 7 walks. But if he's batting 8th, then it's fraudulent. It's not really some big, you know, change in plate approach. It's just getting pitched around. Okay, he's batting 6th and 7th, so that's interesting. Let me take a look at his plate discipline. He's chasing a little less, swinging and missing more. I don't know. I don't think I buy it on the walk rate. No, not really that hyped on Galvis. Is Nick Ahmed a fluke? No, I'm kind of interested in Nick Ahmed. I read up on him, and he did make swing changes. Really trying to become not so much of a slap hitter. What up, Deck of Kings? And, you know, this is a player type that I like. The defensive wizard who, you know, hangs around enough because of his glove and kind of figures out hitting at a later age, unlocks some stuff. And he said he was really going to focus on pitch selection and launch angle. I think he said swing path, but that's the same thing, of course. You know, same general idea. And we are seeing more selectivity. And we're definitely seeing some batted ball changes. His ground ball rate has dropped from 48% to 33%. He really crushed lefties last year. So Nick Ahmed, you know, and he kind of reflects that here with 69-46. But if he continues to hit for some punch and does better against righties, then yeah, I think a silver is on deck because look, he already has gold fielding. So I like Nick Ahmed. It might be crack, but it's hard to get defense upgraded in a given year. Yeah, it could be a little bit higher. I don't know how good his arm is though, and 73-75 is pretty good on the fielding and reaction. Dansby Swanson, hang on, I'll look at Dansby. The only thing is, I don't know, man. Are we really gonna see like a power burst? I know he's got three doubles, a triple, and a homer. I don't know. I'm suspect. He's not hitting the ball particularly hard. He's riding hot. And I definitely think he's better than he was last year. But I don't see like a big investment opportunity. Like yeah, there's 4 points on the board to get to silver eventually, but you're gonna be paying like 90, and you're probably just gonna end up quick selling them for 100, or turning, if you want to turn a bunch of them in to the exchange and invest that way, but nah. .76 speed's pretty fast. Already covered Garrett Cole. That'd be interesting, Italian. I don't see diamond, but I do think he'll get gold. All right, let's get to the outfield, y'all. All right, left field. Another return of the gold watch. Well, I think it's silver watch right now, but Ian Desmond back in the cut. Liam, where's your hot tip on the positional change? No, but Ian Desmond's actually hitting a little bit this year. Not for batting average yet. Only 222, or only 220 average, 222 BABIP. But 3 homers and a double among his 9 hits. So he is starting to hit for some punch. Does play in Colorado. I just don't think he was as bad as he was last year. I will say this though, like a weird 74% ground ball rate. That's insane, and only 15% fly ball rate. He's hitting the ball hard, but definitely on the ground. How does he have 3 homers? Did they skip off the ground and into the stands or some shit? Anyway, I would not overinvest. As I looked a little bit deeper, I'm going to hold these 15 and just sit tight on that. Yeah, he's striking out 26%. That's going to be part of his game. I don't really even, I think his 23% level is where he's going to be, and he's walking less too. It's weird. This is a weird ass profile right now. He's flailing 42% chase rate. That's massive. Yeah. Maybe hit that sell high in fantasy if someone's buying. A little bit more tepid on this than I thought. All right, then the other one, the gold watch. Everyone's already on this. Like, I'm only bringing him up to point out that I acknowledge that he's a near certainty for gold, but you have to pay $1,800, $1,300. So, I mean, he'll probably be like, he could be like a little bit cheaper JD. I think he could be in the 4,000 range. So there's probably still upside here. You'd have to be really patient though, because like right when he gets gold, the market will be flooded. Then you'll have to wait for the price to kind of meander back up. And it'd probably be like 4,000. Shit, why did I do that? All right, any left fielder questions? I know that's more difficult because you might not know exactly what field they are in this game. Eddie Rosario, what's he doing so far? Conforto just started playing, y'all, and the answer on him before you ask, because I know someone's going to ask, is unless he hits lefties, there's no upgrade. Rosario hasn't really been hitting well. His plate skills are the same as last year. I don't know. I think his card kind of is right. Feels pretty right. Dickerson to gold. Got to get some lefty power. Got to get a lot of lefty power, I would think. Because look, plus 11s only get him to 78. I don't see it because his fielding sucks so bad. He'd have to hit. He'd just have to be an obscene hitter. And I'm just not sure that that's, you know, that there's something to really unlock at PNC that we didn't really see last year. Now, last year he got off to this great start, similar to what he's doing right now, and then went down every month in OPS. So even if he gets going, I don't know, he'd have to have like a 900 OPS into June to really push it. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to say I'm going to pass on him investing there. He was gold at one point last year. It was pretty brief. Yeah, left field to center would get downgraded. So that would actually hurt. What are the odds? Very low, because if you lead in a defensive category right now, it is literally meaningless. Through 2 weeks, like the people who make the defensive metrics suggest that they're not standalone. Like 1 year doesn't automatically, say that this is who they are. So 10 games is literally meaningless. He was a 0 on outs above average last year, so maybe a little bit, like maybe low 60s across the board there. So like 2 to 4 points on all. I guess you need 5 points on the reaction. I don't know. Not really, is what I'm saying. Is Granderson left? I know he's got some pop. He went yard again tonight. Oh, again? Or the first time? Was it his first? Yeah, it was his first off of O'Day. I mean, he is hitting well. He's a 474 BABIP, though, so it's going to take a while. That's the thing, like, something like this for a 37-year-old who's hitting for contact or for batting average, he's going to have to do it for, 2+ months, or else they're just going to say, well, we have 7 years now since he hit over 260. So, I love Curtis, but probably not. Yo, V-Fresh, probably don't do that, dog. That's just a little baggy. Like, I don't think I've ever seen you in here, so I don't know if anybody, really knows you. So, I mean, you're just asking for something, right off the top. That's kind of weird. Oh, there goes that. I think Zimmer's a center fielder. Oh, well, that's fine. I'll do Zimmer because I don't have any center fielders, y'all. Center field sucks right now. Nobody's hitting. Well, at least nobody in the silver bronze range. I mean, but not even. I think Kane and Pham got off to a solid start. I haven't checked on him in a couple days, though. Yeah, Kane's hitting all right. But Pham got off to a good start, but a couple games can totally change it. Yeah, so nobody's really hitting. D. Gordon's stealing his balls off, but whatever. Somebody asked about Bradley Zimmer. Where is he? There he is. I mean, there's a lot. The thing of it is, he's like a blank canvas offensively because like he's so low on everything. But he's also not doing anything and striking out 47% of the time. Why did you waste my time? Jesus. I'm just teasing. I like Bradley Zimmer, but he's obviously not a finished product. He's off to a terrible start because, listen, it's not so much the 519 OPS, it's the 47% strikeout rate with a 27% swinging strike rate and a 32% chase rate. All of that is bad. Like, he doesn't have a plan right now. And that's what I was going to say next, Nick, is that the plus 13s only get him 2 points. So he needs to have like an offensive renaissance. Oh, to get the Kemp. Yeah, dude, it really does suck. Justin, I'm sorry. I like Zimmer too. I know Justin loves Zimmer. But you have to admit he's off to a really rough start. Eaton, power, and contact? Probably not. He just went on the DL again too. Yeah, I mean, I don't think so on the contact. Because he's pacing, like, he is hitting 345, so he's kind of out of his mind, but only a 320 BABIP. He does have a 6% strikeout rate, so like, he is putting bat to ball big time. So maybe there's some contact. But the power, I don't know. I got to see more than 2 homers and 3 doubles in a 10-hit span. Like, I just don't think that there's like a power boost coming. I think he's off to a good start with power, but is the upside like maybe 20 homers? Like, he's hit 14 twice in full seasons. Like, maybe he kind of has like a 20 homer pace. So here's the thing: he doesn't need much to get gold. So yes, there's gold potential, but he just went on the DL too. Shut the fuck up about Pollock. Didn't Pollock just go on the DL too? No, he didn't. Why did I think he went on the DL? Pardon me. Yeah, I don't know what's up with the steal scale. He's not a great base stealer, though. In fact, he's actually pretty bad. 67%. That's terrible. That's not even plus. All right, I'll look at Pollock. Hang on. I mean, he has a 414 BABIP and he's still only hitting 310. I don't know. Like, if you're gonna have that BABIP, BTS, thanks for the follow. Are these Marcos alt accounts? That's hilarious. Live Strong, you've missed just about everybody. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Oh, he's got 7 doubles, which is an MLB high, which is nice. Yeah, I mean, he needs 1 point, so it's possible. I understand the Pollock hype. I get it. You guys are right. I guess the thing that is... Never mind, I didn't put him on there. I thought I put him on there. I thought I put him on the investment thing. Because I was going to say... I'm seeing subs ask about him. I'm like, hello? Oh yeah, I did talk about him in the around the Diamond update, though. Subs, you got to read that stuff. It's got all the good stuff. Italian, thanks for the follow. No, it's all right, Livestrong. You're all right. Ryan, I'm not doing relievers right now because they just have such tiny samples, like even smaller than the everyday players, that it's just not worth to try to speculate right now. Yo, Chuck, thanks for the follow, man. All right, wrapping it up with right field. Two guys I've actually already talked about, both on stream. Gregory Polanco, you guys already know, is like probably my number one behind Albies. Number two, I guess. Yeah, I got 45 of him. Big fan. Tried to get him in fantasy a bunch. Propped him up in articles and everything. He's got 7 extra base hits already out of his 9 hits. I mean, he just, like, when you watch him play, you're just like, why aren't you a superstar already? He's chasing a lot less. Seems to have a pretty good plate approach, getting the ball in the air, getting lift, hitting for power. I mean, there is massive breakout potential here, especially if he starts to hit lefties on a consistent basis. But even just a power surge, even if he doesn't quite have a great batting average against lefties, I think there's big upside in all the other categories. He strikes me as an easy bronze, maybe as early as the first update. And then from there, he's been gold before too, and I do think that always helps. Hey CJ, thanks for the follow. I always like when guys have been a certain level before. I think that definitely influences things, as it should, right? They've shown the skill to get there before. Now they're back at that skill level. Let's put them back there. So, love Gregory Polanco. And then the other one's obviously Garcia because he's 1 point away. So I just want to mention him. Keep an eye on the power. That's where it's coming from. So if he's not hitting for doubles and homers, then back off. Like right now, he's got 2 doubles and a homer, but he only has a 111 ISO. So we're not seeing a big power right now. So I would not go crazy, but I have a little bit stowed away. I've only got 2. I would have a little bit stowed away because it's a 1 point away. And if he starts hitting homers, I mean, you don't want to overreact in the market whenever guys are performing. By the way, it's a great way to day trade, is to watch games, see who's going ham, and buy and sell. But if you see a couple doubles and a homer, really starts hitting for consistent power, then you get obviously Garcia. He'll get that upgrade for sure. I do see Harper going up, yes. Yeah, Nomar Mazara is a diamond in our hearts. Mitch Haniger is raking. He had a gold player of the month. I certainly could see a gold path. It would take a while, I believe, like 3 months, into June, I believe, before we can really see it. But yeah, he's beasting, has the skills behind it, good player, still in peak at age 27, solid investment. Nomar Mazara was brought up. He was big time on the early season list. I'm going to ride it out. I mean, he's just definitely somebody I've been a big fan of. Apparently he doesn't have any stats. I guess we're updating stats at the website. See what he's doing so far. He is hitting all right so far. Not a lot of power, but he is hitting the ball. Is he hitting lefties at all? Yep, that's what I figure. Contact approach against lefties, and it's paying off. He has a 571 BABIP, so he's 5 for 10. Obviously, that's not going to maintain, but if he continues to maybe just say, and he does have a homer too, so it's not like it's been all contact, but he's really focused in against lefties. And if he can have some gains there, obviously that's going to net big dividends. I definitely see a silver season with gold upside, though. I like Nomar. Mazara does have a pretty good arm. 78 is not a bad rating. Could it go higher? Probably, at least anecdotally, but I don't think it's egregious. Still no free sub? You should. Do you know how to, I mean, you are linked. I'm confused. Yeah, where's David Peralta? I've always liked David Peralta. I think I put him on the initial list too, mentioning probably that it would have to come against lefties because just looking at him, that's what it would have to do. Yeah, Powers is path to gold. I think he is hitting for some early punch. But, you know, a couple homers at the top of the season is not going to, you know, trick SDS. Especially for Peralta. Like, we kind of know what he is. He does have 2 homers. But he doesn't even have a 200 ISO right now. So, we really need to see power. But he's only 3 points away. So, there is a path to gold. But I wouldn't bet big on it right now. Castellanos for sure. I don't really see it. See, as you can see, if he started crushing righties, plus 17s would get him there. Definitely in on Castellanos. Marquez, nah. I mean, he's got a couple homers this year, but he's not no. Yeah, I would need a lot more. This goes back to like the Granderson contact thing. He would have to hit for some power. He hit 8 homers all year last year. Nick Marquez did. He would basically have to have 8 homers in the first 2 months for them to be like, okay, let's give him a power upgrade. I just don't see it. Savage, I think you can. I did it off the iPad the other day. So, anyway, guys, that's it. Those are the names. Those are a lot of the names I'm looking at right now. I will post the notes. As well as some other names, a few other names in the Discord under the investments channel. So if you are a sub, you will get that. I'll do that tomorrow. Just adding some of these other names that we discussed. Just want to make sure I include them since we did discuss them.